because I'm only half a Mexican.
Yep. Don't go too crazy because you're not Mexican, most likely. Hello, guys. Welcome back to Two Latin Brothers Podcast, the podcast where we talk about comedy and our daily lives, brought to you as a comedy podcast. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
We're back at it again. Now, we've recently done something.
We have
released something.
Yeah.
That we haven't done since, well, yes.
I think it was like it's since last year.
Was it? No.
No, we did one in...
No. We did...
I think it was since last... Let me check real quick.
He's going to check.
I'm going to
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking... If you haven't realized what we're talking about yet, we've released a vlog. And if you know that we've released a vlog, you now know that the vlogs are somewhat back. Hopefully we can maintain this this form of content, going forward. We also plan to start picking up our game on the React Mondays.
The last vlog wasn't posted. It was posted last year, bro.
Wow.
5 months ago.
Wow.
True story.
Yeah, wow.
True story. And the other thing too is like we recorded it like 3 weeks before we even uploaded that.
Yeah.
So
so we're gonna be filming a lot more.
Yeah.
For vlog content. What we're thinking, which is what we've discussed.
Yeah.
Is just filming a bunch of snippets.
Yeah.
And then putting those all together to form something like a quick story.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I've been experimenting heavily.
Yeah.
To the point where like
you really. We might drop it just for the sake of it.
Yeah, just to see what the reaction of it is. I don't know yet. But I'm curious to see if we were to do something like that and if that would like take off or not.
Yeah.
And I need to like do some more research music wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I think it'd be kind of cool to test out.
Yeah.
Just to see like that format of
vlogging.
Yeah, because that's just like something. That's just something so different.
It's like I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, and the real thing is the only way to experience it is you have to wear headphones. Like you can't.
Yeah, it's
like I just it's just the only way you can experience that because just of the way I did it, and I think it'd be cool to try, but we'll see.
Yeah,
no promises. It may just become like a reel or TikTok thing.
Maybe.
We're still figuring it out.
We could create a series.
I mean, we could, but it's like the thing is it only works with the good like if I have like because all the sound bites have to be like I've even thought about doing it with the podcast before.
Yeah,
and I don't know yet. That's the problem. Like I need proper sound bites and just the way you go about all of it, right? So
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll just genuinely see. There's a few things, that we're gonna try. We're gonna experiment a lot on the channel.
Yeah.
With some things we're gonna be doing coming up eventually in the near but far future.
Near but far future.
Near but far future.
I feel like the thing is it's always about experimentation. Like just trying things and seeing what works. Like the thing with the podcast, like if you guys go and listen to the first episode of the podcast, it's a mess. Like there's no structure. Sure. We're just kind of going at it. We have no idea what's going on. Like half of the episode is us just talking about how it feels to listen to our own voice.
Yeah.
Play back in the headphones because we weren't used to it, right? So now it's just like second nature. It's a lot of things like that, right? So I think the more we try things out and experiment, it is like last week's episode was in a studio, right? Like we were in a proper recording studio last week, and this is also like our studio, but I mean in the sense of like, we were using like professional, like not that we're not using, but we were using like higher quality mics. We were using, we had it's just a completely different experience.
Yeah, to what this
And
is.
to what this is, and it just it changes the way you go about recording.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was an interesting experience, and we're probably gonna do it a few more times.
Yeah,
to
we
be- to be
probably
honest.
will. Like we probably even just the two of us go and do it again.
Yeah, just for
Um,
fun.
But yeah, just to mess around. Honestly, at this point,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like we can definitely figure some other stuff out. But I think we should talk about the highlight of today.
The highlight.
For everyone, it was yesterday, but for us, it's right now.
Yeah. So it's the and the with the
You want to just say it?
it's May the 4th.
May the 4th.
So May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. We almost brought back Baby Grogu, but then we didn't.
Honestly, you know what?
So Baby Grogu, main appearance, guys. This is
Yeah.
the first time this season he's made a return. Little floppy ears. You know what I'm saying?
You guys missed this, didn't you?
He is
floppy things.
he is majestic. No, I'm kidding. He is honestly, he, for those who don't know and those who haven't been in here, he sits like in a spot over here, like near a window, and like every time you walk into the room, he's like the first thing you see when you look
Yeah.
down because you walk in from this side, so you see him as soon as you walk in. But we've had people walk in here and they just like charge at the Grogu.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna hug this thing because it's literally a giant plushie.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Talking about Star Wars, bro. I mean, Star Wars is one of those things where I feel like there's a whole generation.
There's a community.
No, there's multiple generations at this point.
It's a community.
Of course, it's a community, but there's multiple generations now
Yeah.
that grew up on Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I wonder if Star Wars, because of the way it was done back in the originals, you know, the way they were done using a lot of practical effects, and there wasn't, there was a big push in VFX at that time, and like Star Wars pushed CGI
Oh yeah.
to its brink. Like it was just so far, just some of the things that they were doing back then. And now with the Mandalorian, they're like pushing even, like, how far can I push?
I know.
To the point of like,
honestly, like I'm so happy like all of those shows are coming out and stuff, because it's giving us more context into the characters and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's like the graphic novels, there's like those books and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't go out of their way to read those, right?
Right, yeah.
So
of
it's
course.
like bringing it truly, like it's like bam in your face.
Right, yeah. I think it's you know what? Honestly, what Disney has done is brought back Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't get me wrong. The 4th, 5th, and 6th, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they're known as like the greatest. They're the OG. You can't go wrong, right? And then like the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, it's like
Yeah, I know.
around the 2nd one, it's like a hit or miss. And then when you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
the 7th one hit all the nostalgia, like just all the nostalgia.
Yeah.
That was everything you wanted in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And then the 8th one, to be honest, I barely remember.
To be honest, like the thing is with me is like it's been so long
Yeah.
since I've watched all of them, like straight through.
Right.
And when I did watch like the OG ones, I was very little.
Right.
Like when I watched them all the way through, because I've watched like snippets and parts of them, and like that kind of refreshes me a little bit.
Right.
But like to watch all of them in a marathon, like go through it all,
Right.
I haven't done that in. I don't think I've ever done that actually properly.
You saying we should do that?
I'm saying we did it. Well, no, we almost finished. No, we didn't.
No.
We only watched like 4 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should try it.
We should try it and watch it in order of release.
Okay, so you start 4, 5, 6, then you go 1, 2, 3, then you go 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Technically, the way it's kind of funny. They're like, if you watch it in chronological order, you go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. You watch all of Clone Wars. You stop at like season 6 or something like that. And then you watch 3. then you jump back into Clone Wars, you finish Clone Wars, you jump into Rebels,
Yeah.
and then after Rebels, you I think there's a point at a specific point in Rebels where you stop,
Yeah.
and then you jump into 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
and you go back, and then no, you don't go 7, 8, 9. I know you go 7, and then you jump into Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and then you fall into the other. What was the other Star Wars show? You also like Boba Fett fits in that timeline, so you also have to watch that in between the Mandalorian season, and then you jump back to like 8, 9. Like it's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like if we were to watch it in like the timeline,
Yeah. It's a lot.
yeah, it would be.
It's a lot, and seems like a lot of energy. So we're just gonna stick to the movies right now.
seems like a lot of work.
We'll hit the Clone Wars and Rebels down the line.
down the line at some point.
Yeah.
But no, I mean we started watching.
Yeah, we started watching Clone Wars again. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I kind of zoned out after like.
Well, I think the mistake was we were trying to watch it all the way through in one sitting, like season 1, really.
Okay, there's like 20 something episodes in season 1.
I know.
No, that wasn't the problem. The problem was that
and we were like, okay,
like it's because like the
kinda
first
tiring.
few seasons
yeah,
are designed for children
I know.
because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's a little like, oh man, I feel like it drags a little,
bit.
but I've been told that it gets better. So
Yeah, I know.
just have to let it get better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, what is it? I can't remember. Someone was. Have you seen those like TikTok edits of people like saying about the NBA season? Like
No.
people. Okay, so people have been making NBA edits
Okay.
with anime music, like the
Okay.
intros of anime songs, and it was some guy. I can't remember what season it was. Like 58 or something like that. Finally got through all the filler to get to the main story, and it's like season 58, and it's like the first time Michael Jordan is playing basketball.
Oh
They
my
like finally got to
gosh.
the main arc, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
58
That's crazy.
seasons,
What are they gonna do when he goes to baseball?
58 seasons to get to the main arc of this, and then
Yeah.
someone else made another one when they're like, I think it was like 60 something, when they're like finally got to the main arc when like Kobe joins.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like all the filler, all the build up to this moment.
It's like, stay tuned for the spin-off show.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's honestly, some of those things are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
If you were to watch sports like that, it'd be pretty intense.
Yeah. Man.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
honestly
like,
crazy.
recently there's been like that. Well, not recently, but there's been that boom in sports anime.
Yeah.
Right. There's like the volleyball one, the tennis one, soccer one. There's a boxing one. There's
Yep.
I feel like there's a swimming one, but I'm not sure.
I yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a track one too.
There's track ones. Like there's just
Like
so many like
since like 2018, I'd say they've been dropping sports anime.
yeah. So realistically, if you're someone who doesn't like
There's
anime,
a figure skating one too.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is it Yori on Ice or Ari on Ice or something?
No, I can't remember. But I think you said it actually. If you're someone who doesn't like anime, now I'm gonna tell you an argument that most people haven't told you. Okay. Most people like to argue, but it's so good, like the storyline and stuff like that. Okay, there is an anime designed for every person at this point. I'm not even joking. If you're into the science stuff, there's anime for that. If you're into gaming, there's anime for that. If you're into sports, there's an anime for that. I bet there's even an anime where they like compete in crocheting. Like this is like and they make it cinematic.
There's an anime where like the main characters have a club about sleeping. Have you seen this? And they go to like they go to sleeping tournaments.
Like, there's even an anime.
Oh, it's a napping tournament. Where they go to like napping tournament. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, like there's even like if you're a lazy person and you like being lazy or you wish to be lazy, there's like a listlessness anime that we started watching and I don't think we finished it. Yeah, and then I finished it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dedicate.
I couldn't do it. I'm like every time I watch this, I felt like incredibly lazy after every episode.
Yeah, I know. Like there was some.
The problem was I was like we were watching it during one of my exam seasons.
Yeah, and you're just like this is so mean.
Yeah,
I want to sleep like that.
I can't do this right now. Like I need to focus. I need to get my together, and
Like,
I can't.
honestly, it was so good. Like, if you want
Also,
to
like,
know how
have
to
you-
be lazy
Okay,
for
have
a
you
day,
noticed the
watch that anime.
subcategory in romance animes now?
Wait, there's a what?
The subcategories in romance anime now. Okay, so romance. Okay, so for those who don't know, they're like the romance category, right? It's out there, right? So then we have like the build-up romance, where like the whole anime, they're just like teasing that they're gonna end up together at the
Okay.
end. Then you have the harem anime, where like there's multiple girls,
Yeah.
and we all kind of like pick the girl we want the guy to end up with, and he ends up. And then you have like the polygamy one, where he'll end up with multiple girls,
Yeah.
and then you'll have the one where the anime starts with the couple already being a couple,
Yeah.
right? And then like all the issues that enti for that.
Yeah.
Then you have anime to love or romance anime,
Yeah.
where it's like they hate each other, and then
they end up
they
loving
end
each
up
other
together.
at the end. Yeah.
These are subcategories in romance.
I didn't know that.
Like it is. Now that you're thinking of all the animes that are like this,
as you were saying it, I was picturing an anime like that.
right? So
Yeah.
it's really crazy how is before. You know what this was called before?
What?
Drama.
Okay, so they basically romance and drama.
Yeah, but
They broke it down into subcategories.
they've broken it down into subcategory, and it's like, why are we doing this?
because it was necessary.
It's like, and also
No, it's because like also like you watch an anime, it's like something you've liked already.
yeah,
Like for example, enemies to lovers.
yeah,
Like you see one anime like that, and you're like, oh, I actually enjoyed that. I kind
Yeah.
of want to see another one like that.
right,
And then you're like, oh, there's a whole category on this stuff.
Right.
So then you can fall into it, right?
right,
And all the stories are either, and I find it so amazing how every time it's basically a different story. Like you know how it's gonna end,
yeah,
right? Like you obviously know how it's gonna end.
yeah,
And some of them are actually really mean, and they end it like very like realistic kind of
yeah,
situations.
yeah.
And then it's just like, is this trauma?
It's just drama.
But like
is this
some
what
of
this
these
feels
anime
like?
are just so good.
It's like Violet Evergarden.
Okay, yeah.
The way
That's-
Violet Evergarden ends. If you haven't seen the movie, I implore you, please see the movie.
Yeah.
The way Violet Evergarden ends, and not to drop any spoilers, but I think
Yeah.
that the way that ends
Yeah.
is just,
Yeah.
like, it hits you in a way where you're not ready for it, but at the same time, like the build up was here.
yeah.
You were ready for it,
Yeah.
and then it happens,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't feel like enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're like, I want more.
Yeah.
I deserve more.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
after this emotional turmoil, I deserve more.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like, but the story's over.
Yeah.
Like that's it, and you're just like, I want more.
Yeah. See, but I think those are some of the best kinds of endings.
Yeah.
It's like they leave you wanting more,
Right.
but like you're still satisfied with and okay with what happened.
right. Yeah.
Right. But it's like that desire, like
Yeah. It's like
I
when
crave
Naruto
it.
ended, everybody wanted more, and then they gave us Boruto, and it was 253 episodes of filler.
Anyways, there's also like slices of life,
Right.
right? So it's everyday life
Yeah.
put into an anime.
Right.
Great concept, absolutely love it. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go up to my brother, I'm like, you know what we need? And he's like, what? I'm like, a good slice of life.
Yeah.
It's been a while, because you really drop into like that, like reincarnated into another world type
Right.
animes. They become like overpowered, or like they train a lot and then they become overpowered, and then
Right.
it's just like they're living out their fantasy life in this new world and stuff
Right.
like that. We've been into that a lot recently.
It's because that's what's all that's coming
It's
out
booming
recently.
right now.
It's because that's
That right now is trending.
right now that's the anime market.
Yeah, that literally is the anime market. Being isekai into another world.
Yeah, I just gotta like we joke every time we see like a truck now.
Yeah.
We're like, bro, if I take a step forward right now, I could get you.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't do it. That was really dark. Anyways, I don't approve this mess.
Obviously. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this short intermission.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Two Latin Brothers Podcast. You thought there wouldn't be a commercial, but there is. So make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you guys right now.
And we're back.
We are back. On the topic of discussion of anime.
Actually, I wanted to change the topic, but sure.
Want to
you
change
can-
topic?
you
No,
can
go
go-
for it.
No,
Go
keep
for it.
going. Keep going.
No,
keep going.
we're done with anime. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
All right. Technically, today is Cinco de Mayo.
Yes. That is so true. Man, am I gonna have to dress him up now? We'll be right. No, I'm kidding.
Get him like a little pocket.
Get him a little poncho, get him a little sombrero. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the reason we didn't do this is because it kind of slipped our minds this year. We had thought about it, but here's the thing. So, for those who don't know what Cinco de Mayo actually is,
What is it?
I think we should explain it.
Okay, what is it?
Right, so in the state of Puebla, in Mexico,
Uh-huh.
this isn't a full. I don't know why all the Latinos jumped in on this, but that's not how it is. It's a Mexican thing, and it's only in one state.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody else got involved. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed.
Well,
Anyway,
because it would have affected everything else.
I mean, I guess, but you know, it
Not
would
I
have.
guess,
It
it
really,
would've.
would have just affected Mexico.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have affected anybody else.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't know why people from Honduras, from Belize, from El Salvador, from like Guatemala, like why y'all celebrating Cinco de Mayo? You don't even know what, like, you know what I mean?
Well, if that area of Puebla would have been conquered, that
The
would have been a vantage
Spaniards
point.
had a tight grip, and the British were in Belize, so you know.
Yeah, I know.
You think the British were gonna take a knee?
I mean, if they started changing the Mexicans, oh yeah.
Anyway, if I may finish,
Scary.
it's a whole history thing. Anyway, so what happened is that so in the state of Puebla, which is a state in Mexico, they the French showed up and they were fighting the Spaniards and the Native Americans in Mexico at the time, and it's believed that on the Cinco de Mayo they won the battle.
Yeah.
The battle ended that day, and they won. The not the French, the Spaniards and the Native Americans. They won the battle. So it's like a day of like, you know, like a victory. It's the Mexican D-Day is what it is.
Pretty much.
And it's also widely believed that if the French would have won that battle, Mexicans would speak French. So that would have been interesting.
Yep.
Or at least a very large majority of them would speak French.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Cinco de Mayo is. Now that I've given you all the history lesson, happy Cinco de Mayo. You know, be safe out there. Be careful. Don't party too hard, and don't party on my behalf, because I'm only half a Mexican.
Yep. Don't go too crazy because you're not Mexican, most likely. I mean, like I guess for most people, it's just kind of like an excuse to drink tequila.
Yeah, I mean, be real though. People who drink tequila a lot, do they really need an excuse?
The excuse is they're a tequila drinker. It's like I saw this post the other day.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, where it's like, if you need an excuse to drink, they give you like a day. Like they tell you what Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is.
Yeah.
And like they break it down.
Yeah.
So they're like, I think it was like, I thought it was like Monday whiskey.
Yeah.
And then it's just like Tuesday, tequila Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday it's like, why not Wednesday?
Why not?
And then Thursday was like, what was it?
He's struggling to pull this out of his brain, guys.
Oh man, it's because I'm not a drinker.
Anyway,
and then like Friday was just like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
And then it was like Recover Saturday, and then it's just like Make It Through Sunday, something like that. I can't remember. I probably butchered the entire rest of it, but let's
like,
be real here.
But yeah, no, honestly.
But like, how alcoholic do you have to be to give a name for every day of the week as an excuse? At that point, just be like, yes, I'm an alcoholic. I drink beverage. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I just, on the topic of alcohol.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a slippery slope. Like, most people go like, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
To think about, and this is gonna change the whole conversation because this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
When I was in social work, when I was studying,
okay.
I had to go to
An intervention.
Almost, but no. I had to go to an anonymous
A group meeting.
a group meeting for Alcoholics Anonymous, and when I got there, you know, everybody's giving you looks because I was young, right?
Yeah.
I was like 20, 21 years.
They're like, what is this guy doing?
Right. So I was like 22. I'm
Can't
walking
handle
in.
it. Yeah.
And this one guy walks in and he goes, and there's like there's a lot of older people and they're like middle-aged people, and so like some of them look like, yo, look at this guy, like just
Yeah.
walked in. Like, you know, they're like, yo, this like it's getting real, guys. Like,
yeah, this is a problem. Like,
yeah,
like our youth is now affected.
yeah, right. So it's like this is and it's like, and they know it's an ongoing problem, right?
Yeah.
And so and there was a guy there celebrating 15 years of sobriety.
Wow.
And he was like he was like 46 or 47.
Also, he
something like
started in his early 20s.
that. No, he started drinking at 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So then that wouldn't be 15 years.
When he stopped drinking.
Oh, yeah.
He started drinking at 13.
Yeah, yeah.
But he stopped drinking at like an age like way later in his life when it was like so problematic.
So he stopped it like in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what was interesting to me was the fact that as soon as like once like the meeting was over and everything,
Yeah.
he walked up to me and he goes, well, welcome to the group, and like, you know, he kind of gave me the rundown. He handed me some pamphlets, and I go, oh, I'm like, thanks, and he goes, how long have you been sober? And I go, I'm actually not an alcoholic. Like, I actually don't drink.
Yeah.
Like, at all. And he, like, goes, so I'm like, why are you here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you here? I'm like, I have an assignment. I'm like, I have an assignment in one of my addictions courses.
Yeah.
Where I have to partake in one of these meetings.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, the idea is for you to understand the perspective of an alcoholic, like what it would be like if you were to go to one of these meetings.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, oh, that's incredible, actually. I like that.
Yeah.
And then I was telling him what I was studying and all that, and it was really cool. And like a bunch of people like started like they got into the conversation to go, I love this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I never heard of this before, right? And then I was telling them how in like 3 weeks I had to go to one for like drug addicts.
Yeah.
And I went with like a group of friends.
Yeah.
So I didn't go alone to that one because, you know, it's like, because there have been instances where we had a prof tell us that we should go in groups because sometimes you'll have people show up to the meeting high. So
yeah.
like just so you're like, that way you're not alone sort of scenario.
Yeah.
And that was also a very interesting meeting.
Yeah.
But to see like the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
Because like there's a side of it where like it's all fun and games sort of scenario, but then there's like the other side of it, which is like complete and utter turmoil for like a person, and like just the way that some people talk about it, like man, it's like there is
once you've been scared straight, it's hard for you to try and understand why you'd even start to begin with.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Like once you've because a lot of people are like those are just like the few horror stories, but there's a lot more than you've seen.
Well, the thing is that okay, so most people so this is like an actual stat. Yeah. At least here in Canada, I don't know what it's like in America. I don't know any other stats. I don't know. Yeah. I just know the ones here because that's what I learned. That's what I know. That's my job. We in Canada, I think it's like 1 in 25 people are likely to become an alcoholic. Yeah. So what that means is that if you're in a party with 400 people, at least 8 of them, at least 16 of them, are alcoholics. Mm-hmm. But they're high functioning alcoholics. Yeah. And that's the biggest issue we have in our society. We have a lot of high functioning alcoholics. Yep. Same thing with drug users. We have a lot of high functioning drug users in this country. And so and like, you know, just stuff you see and stuff you hear and you know. So and obviously, you know, you learn to navigate. But here's the thing, right? So we're having this conversation in class, right? Yeah. About it. And the way the prof brings up is like, so you're done drinking, you're done partying. Like after this course, if you go back to drinking, you're playing with fire. Yeah. And we're all like, why? It's like this course is almost designed to scare you, not to fall into these things. Yeah. And this girl goes, sir, I just turned 19 last week. Yeah. Like you can't tell me I can't party and drink. Like I just became legal. Like you can't say that to me. And then and he turns out he's like, I'm sorry, that's just the reality of the world. Yeah. And
because you yourself can't be a client.
So wait, so then he gives us another stat, which obviously made us all laugh. He's like, guys, he's like, if you're a drinker, you're 10 times more likely, like in the job, he's like, you're 10 times more likely to become an alcoholic because that's where all your sorrow will go. Like, he's like, if you
have a busy day, you hear a sob story, you relate to that sob story, right? You want to drink away that sobness,
right? He's like, so it's an endless vicious cycle, of just like, you know, so.
You're self-medicating.
Yeah. So he was, the way he said it was like, guys, like the way he said it was like, he was trying to hurt us,
Yeah.
but it came off sarcastic.
Yeah.
So like,
A lot of people brush it off.
well, we're like, is he being serious or is he just making a joke? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But there were obviously instances where, you know, and obviously there were a
I
few.
can't imagine how many people who had to go to those meetings,
Yeah.
they themselves concluded that they were an alcoholic.
Right. That's the other thing too, right?
Yeah.
And we had to write a paper reflecting on it.
Yeah.
Now, like, I can't imagine how many people were like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. You know, I'm gonna like tone it down a little.
Yeah, like
or
maybe I'm gonna start going to these meetings myself to try and fix myself.
Right. Yeah. Like
Because 20 people, right?
right.
There's got to be that one person.
Yeah.
You know.
And what we were a class that at that time we were like 100 and I want to say like 140 people maybe.
Okay, wait, no. So because what I just said was technically incorrect.
Yeah.
I said for every 20 people, there's one person, right, who's an alcoholic. But there's a difference between high functioning and then alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because
I don't know what the stat is for that, and I don't think
there is one. I don't think I'm pretty sure there is one, but I don't think they track it properly.
Yeah.
Like they probably do it like every like 5 years or something. It's not like a year to year thing, but it is interesting, right, to see those numbers and projections too. Like I remember when vaping came around.
Oh yeah.
When vaping came around, the biggest issue with vaping was we didn't know like the ramifications of it. The other issue too is like the way it was advertised like teenagers.
Oh yeah.
Like the marketing like for Juul, have you seen those marketing campaigns?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, yo, what is this right now? Like this is, you know, and it became very problematic. And I remember where was I? I was in my last year of high school when that kind of popped up.
Yeah.
You okay over there?
I'm looking at the stats for
high functioning
for alcohol and stuff.
Yeah. Has it changed? It's probably changed because
they haven't done a heavy drinking test or like
yeah, because like
they haven't done stats since 2018.
Yeah, because of COVID. Because usually they do
no, they released an update in 2019.
Yeah, that makes
June
sense.
25th, 2019.
What's it at now? Because when I was doing that class, it was like 2017, I think.
So there are 30.
Is it like by 1,000 or?
I don't know. Overall, males were more likely to report heavy drinking than females.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So 23.5% of males.
23.
Yeah.
So that's like what? We're like what? 34,000 people?
Yeah.
No, 34 million people. So get 34 million minus 23%.
Yeah, so in 2018, 19.1% of Canadians aged 12 and older, roughly 5.9 million people reported alcohol consumption, and that classified them as heavy drinkers. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
5.9 million people.
Yeah.
But that's like out of
34 million.
Out of 34 million.
So that's like almost a third. No, that's like a fit. No.
And this is the stat for heavy drinking. So that's not casual drinking. That's
right. So that's the thing, right? Like it's very crazy to think of like the numbers and the way it kind of goes, right?
Yeah.
So like, cause there's obviously a lot of people and I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I've met those what we call social drinkers.
Yeah.
Like y'all social drinkers.
The highest percentage of where this number comes from is from Newfoundland and Labrador.
That makes a lot of sense.
Followed by Quebec.
That makes a lot more sense.
And Ontario's in the low percentile. So.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because we export a lot of it. We grow it here, we grow it here, and we export. We get it done. You know what I'm saying? But actually, there's a lot of wineries by Niagara.
Yeah.
And St. Catharines. So you have a lot of like vineyards out there, that have been around for like ever. But yeah, other than that, I don't. And the thing here is, especially in Ontario, I find like people are mostly social drinkers.
Yeah.
Like people aren't heavy drinkers; they're social drinkers.
Like people's reasonings for drinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no one has ever taken their first drink and liked it.
Well, yeah, because it's an acquired taste.
Because it's obviously an acquired taste. So how much did you crave to want to be drunk
Yeah.
to get to the point you're at now?
Well, I think it's the other thing too is, and this topic has gone a little like sideways.
Yeah, I know. It went from happy Star Wars, happy Cinco de Mayo, to like people drink tequila, don't party too hard.
Yeah.
To like let's take a look at the stats and let's bring some awareness.
No, I think that most people who drink a lot are trying to hide away trauma.
Yeah.
Like they're going through something and they're trying to work it out and they don't know how to properly deal with it.
Yeah.
But then again, I've also like we've had this instance. We went over to a friend's house and he like stopped drinking years ago.
Yeah.
And we went into his house and they had like beer cans, like
Mm-hmm.
right, and he like stopped drinking. We go, yo, you okay? He goes, no. It's like my wife is like making chicken with like
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, and he's like, yeah. So like I had to walk in. He's like, it was the first time I walked into like a beer store in like 15 years.
Yeah.
And we're like, dang, that's crazy. And he goes, and we go, and so how'd it go? He's like, honestly, he's like, I felt wrong.
Yeah.
Like at the checkout, like the lady must have thought like I was committing a crime or something.
Yeah.
Like the lady the lady at the checkout, he's like, I'm convinced was like this guy's about to break his sobriety.
Yeah.
Because of like just the way I looked going through the entire interaction.
Yeah.
And then the chicken was great though, I gotta say. The chicken was great.
Yeah.
And so little things like that where you run into instances, right? And
Yeah.
it's good to it's good to have friendships where you can hold each other accountable to those sorts
Yeah.
of things. And that's the problem. I feel like most friendships are like surface level.
Yeah.
They're not deep,
I feel like that's a really big disconnect that a lot of people have
Right.
in today's society,
Right.
specifically in Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of friendships are held together
Uh-huh.
only for the fact
Yeah.
that A, you go drinking with them,
Yeah.
or B, you smoke with them.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot, specifically like through high school and college.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed most.
Yeah.
If I were to remove the substance away from their friendship,
Yeah.
they literally have no reason to talk to each other.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
absurd. And that's like, I feel like that's something every friend group should ask themselves.
yeah.
Can you as friends spend an evening out together and not take a single drink?
Well, no, I think
And still try to enjoy each other's company.
right, but here's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Like I had a philosophy class. No. I think it was a philosophy class.
Okay.
Where our professor asked us, they're like, who's your group of friends? And we're like, we're all sitting together. Like, what do you mean? Who's your
Yeah.
group of friends? He goes, okay. He's like, have you guys ever had the topic of religion come up? Like
Yeah.
in genuine conversation. And we all go, like no one says anything. He
Yeah.
goes, have you guys ever had the topic of stock markets and investment come up? We all go, it's dead quiet again. He goes, have any of you ever talked about relationships and like
Mm-hmm.
and future plans that you have, like where you're gonna be in like
Yeah.
5-10 years? And then this one guy goes, yes, we have. And then he goes, right, and then his friend goes, bro, you were telling us about this one girl you hooked up with, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was very interesting, right? And after that class, we were all thinking about how a lot of the issues that run into in friendships
Yeah.
are lack of communication.
Yeah.
And I quickly discovered that for most people, like, especially if you're not religious, for example,
Yeah.
like you don't want to talk about religion, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you just avoid that topic altogether.
Yeah.
But this is where it flips on you, because psychologically,
Mhm.
those conversations make a bigger impact on people than other conversations.
Yeah.
Because
See, it's like you talk
because
about
it's a morality
Yeah.
topic,
yeah.
right? It's not like, and the same thing with, deeper things, right? Like investing in stock markets and house
Yeah.
buying, all that stuff is people planning for their future, not living in the now.
Yeah.
And most friendships are in the now, not in the future.
Yeah, for example, there's a lot of friendships that are just built off like, okay, we go to the same class with each other,
Mhm.
And then summer reaches or something happens,
Yeah.
And then that friendship like sort of
They
disconnects.
fall out.
Yeah, and for some people, it's just like they're straight up like introverts. They don't
Yeah.
want to like talk to people.
Start of my life.
They're not the type of people to go out of their way to
Sorry,
start the
Mom.
conversation. Like, you have to come to me because I'm not gonna go out of my way to talk
Right.
to you because,
Start of my
And
life.
then there's then there's just genuinely those people who are like, well, I don't feel like our friendship's that close,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not gonna reach out.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because you don't have those future conversations. So like you said, the conversations about like your future plans, religion, and like just your opinions and views in general. If you've had that topic of discussion with people, they're most likely your actual friends.
Yeah.
Because there's friends that are actually acquaintances, and then there's like your real friends.
So here's another thing that our prophet, we're running out of time, but our prophet brought up to us.
Yeah.
He goes, how many of you have cried in front of one of your friends? And you want to know what's something crazy?
What?
I've only cried in front of maybe 4 people, like outside of my family.
Yeah.
Like, no, now I want to say like, I'm going to say 10.
Okay.
Just because, you know.
That's a safe number.
I'm going to say 10. Because
I'm going to say 7 because that feels even safer.
I'm going to say 10. But like, apart from like, you know, like our super close, like our family friends, like I'm not counting those. I'm kind of like my personal friends, just my friends. Right. So I'm going to say about 10 people. Okay. They've seen me cry. And not because I got hurt or because of injured, because of actual conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and as a male, like that's,
yeah,
you know, like when you're in a group of guys to cry,
yeah,
because of a conversation, like you're being incredibly vulnerable with that person.
Yeah.
Right. And most people are never, like, especially amongst guys, we're never that vulnerable with each other. Like last night, me and you were up till like 4 a.m. talking. Yeah. Right. And that's why this works. Yeah. Guys, if you're wondering why this works,
it's communication.
It's because we talk a lot. Apart from the podcast, we talk a lot to each other. We communicate. We tell each other our thoughts, our political views, or you know,
just like genuine things that happen in our lives. And we're like, what do you think about this? Or like,
but the other thing
genuine
too is like
conversations that can lead into the topic of future. Mm-hmm. Your mindset, like your morality, and then the topic of like not politics in general, but like just like opinion based stuff, just anything personal, really, is the topic of conversation that excels your friendship.
Right. And we're not talking about, you know, like what's your favorite color. We're talking like
when is the last time you cried?
No, but I mean, like,
but like, obviously not like that.
Not start like that, but
not
I mean,
like that.
But I mean, like, some of the questions. I remember I had a friend. When we would talk, she'd be like, "So, you know, from your standpoint, like, you know, what did she say? She asked me, how do you feel about the society we're in now?" Yeah. And then she brought up, you know, how society used to be, you know, how like the male was, you know, and then she's like, I'd kind of like to go back to that. And I'm like, question, it's a lot less work for me, you know,
like that's a good test actually to see where your friendship's at. Yeah. If you can maintain a conversation with someone
and not get upset,
right? Hear them out genuinely. Yeah. And just hear their perspective. Right. Actually, I'm going to dare people who are listening to this right now. Text a friend what they think about something, and it could be something that could be controversial, you know, because you're gonna be putting that trust into that person, right? Right. And they're gonna trust you back.
I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of text messages.
Oh yeah. And you're gonna get that. Watch people be like, "Why didn't you text me?" But now you know. But just try it. Like, hey. What's your view or what's your opinion? What's your value? Right. Starting a question like that for a conversation. And as soon as it feels uncomfortable, you'll know if they're truly your friend because they'll want to walk away from it. Yeah. Or it could be something that you've picked that's too sensitive, obviously. Right. So don't be pushy. But that will lead into a deeper conversation, and you'll realize after that conversation how much closer you are with your friends.
Right, yeah, and it's very challenging, like especially in our society, we have a lot of Muslim people, and a lot of, you know, we have some Christians, and we have, you know, some Buddhism as well, and you know, we have we also have the Hindus and all that, right? And having those, especially when it comes to religious conversations, it's very challenging to navigate those, because sometimes, you know, you have that one atheist guy like in the corner, and he goes, "Oh, this doesn't matter to me. Like I could care less," right? And then I remember one time I had this conversation with some friends of mine, and one of our friends, he got upset.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you guys shouldn't be talking about this and whatnot and all. And some random guy like walked up and joined the conversation. He's like, and he tells the other guy, he goes, yo, man, I'm so happy for you, you know, fighting against, you know, the hierarchy of like believing in God and all this.
Yeah.
And I like turned to look at the guy, and even like the guy who was there was like, he even felt a little thrown off by it. He was like, thanks, dude. Like, I guess, like, you know, like, I mean,
there's like, if you can't have a conversation with one of your friends openly about
just about anything,
and not basically feel butthurt about it, or listen to them all the way through, you should be questioning if you're even good friends or if you should remain friends. Because if you're not willing to hear me out just based on my opinions,
will you be there for me?
How can I trust you? Exactly. How can I trust you to be there for me? Right. It's just like, I probably just destroyed a few friendships and stuff.
What have we done? What have we done? This is
welcome to the bit of psychology that I understand and that agents truly studied.
Yeah, it's got real. We need to wrap up, bro.
We're gonna wrap up now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to share with everybody. Share with your grandmother. Share with your rooster. Share with your donkey. Share with everybody and everything you physically can. Check out the vlog if you haven't already, and check last week's podcast if you haven't done so. Pretty much the vlog is a update onto what happened. Well, it's basically the background of what happened to get to the point of the podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.